everybody ready? Okay.
We're
Okay.
ready.
You think you're ready? Okay. Everybody, take
Ready.
yourselves off of mute and give me a woo woo.
Woo!
Whoop, whoop.
Okay. I'm feeling it. I'm feeling it already. Okay. Awesome. We got a good one for you tonight. Listen, Mika,
Ready?
you ready to give us the results?
Y'all ready?
Are y'all ready? Who's ready? Put your hand up
I
if
don't
you're
think
ready.
they. I'm not presenting because I don't think y'all ready.
Who? Put your hands up if you're ready. She don't think you're ready.
All right, here we go. And
All right,
the
let's see
winner
it.
is
If y'all come to this competition every month, y'all would know this is my favorite event. Okay, this is my favorite event, the CAP competition. We got 5 contestants tonight that's going to be presenting their story on their project. Now, there's a lot at stake. First prize, $50. Second and third prize, $25 a piece. But our top 3 winners move on to the Data Talent Showcase at the end of the month, where you have a chance to win $100. You have a chance to win a Colaberry Data Talent Showcase winner badge, and you have a chance to create extra content for your resume. Extra content for your resume? Well, what do you mean by that, Ali? Well, let me show you what I mean, all right? When you get towards the end of the program, part where everybody likes, where you're getting about to get the job, okay? When you get to the end of the program, you're gonna create a resume. And in your resume, you see this row right here of links? You see this row right here of links? This is what you have the chance to contribute to this evening, all right? So let's go over it. This is Tariq's resume. Tariq he's been on this job for about maybe a couple of weeks now, so he's fresh. Okay, but I'm going to use his resume as an example. One of the links that we're going to have on the resume is a digital resume. All right, so the digital resume has links to your bio, your LinkedIn. It has your portfolio, your project that you created. It has videos.
Good evening, my name is Tariq, and today we'll be talking about the role of a business analyst. And if we don't have one on our team, how do we go about getting that requirement?
Okay.
So let's start.
All right, that's cool, Tariq. We don't need you to get all into it, but that's good. Good demo. All right. Now, Tariq has won a Data Talent Showcase. And look at this. Now, you get your data analytics badge when you get towards the end of the program. But if you win the Data Talent Showcase, remember, our top 3 contestants tonight go on to the Data Talent Showcase, which is at the end of the month. And if they win, they get this nice badge. Okay, and when employers click on this badge, they're going to see all of the skills that you had to use to obtain that badge. Okay, so that's one thing that's on the resume. Why hire me? It's a little pitch, a little 1 to 2 minute pitch.
Hi, so why should you hire me? Over the years, I've had the pleasure in working in the financial sales field for multiple industries, from banking, mortgage, telecommunication, and debt settlements.
All right, sounds good, Tari. You don't have to brag. Okay, it's all good. All right, and then we move on to the communication section. Now, this is the important part, okay? Because this event tonight, okay, if our contestants just kill it, if they just kill it tonight, all I have to do is say, hey, Ali, I'd like to get a video of my event tonight. Okay, and I want to add it as communication on my resume. So let's look at Tariq. Tariq actually won the CAP competition. He actually won the Data Talent Showcase. And here's his award-winning presentation on look, we're gonna throw a little intro on there for you, okay?
All right, so good evening. My name is Tariq, and today I'll be going over is the American dream achievable? The main motivation for this project actually came from a personal standpoint, as someone who's been looking to purchase a home for the past couple of years, the price on homes has been a deterrent. And one of the main reasons why I actually moved back to Dallas from Los Angeles. So what is
All right, you hear him. Listen, his project involved getting some data, bringing it in, analyzing the data, creating reports on the data. Okay, but the story is different. Okay, the story is about engaging people. It's about telling the story of the data. And that's what you're going to see here tonight is people have a project. Yes. Oh, we're using SSIS, we're using SSRS, we're using SQL, we're using Power BI or Tableau or whatever. All that's good and all, but can you entertain us? We want to be entertained. Okay. Can you relay your message in a way that is entertaining? That's what this competition is about, because this is part one of becoming a data scientist. You go to data analytics route where you have no experience and you go to getting a job in the field as a data analyst or BI developer. From there, the second class is going from BI developer to data scientist, but the whole process is training you to become a data scientist. And as a data scientist, you have to be able to deliver or explain what you are delivering. You got to be able to tell people the story, tell people the impact, tell people how this data has impacted lives. Okay, give us the real story behind the data, not just technical jargon. Okay, because you're going to put people to sleep with the technical jargon. Okay, so you got to make the story appealing. And when you get your project fully completed in Colaberry network as part of the CAP process, then you will also have a project such as this one, where it comes with the intro, you got your presentation, and you got a video.
Let me ask you a question. How many of you have submitted a ticket to Colaberry support? How many of you have spent an hour checking your email every 5 minutes to see if support has—
Yeah, I know everybody felt that, right? So we can definitely relate. And what you want to do is you want to relate to your audience, okay? You want to understand who your audience is. What are their thoughts? What are their perspectives? And you want to relate to them as much as possible. And so you will create this project where you're going to go get your own data set. You're going to analyze the data set. You're going to find insights in the data set. You're going to present what you learned, and you're going to create a video out of it. Okay? And this can go directly on your resume. Okay? So any video you see tonight could very well be stamped in history on somebody's resume, showcasing their skill set, getting them not only a job out of the training program, but more jobs in the future. Okay, so this is not just about getting that first job. It's about building a resume, building a repertoire of projects that will then make it easier for you to get a job in the field. All right, so that's what's at stake tonight. Is everybody's trying to continue to build on their profile. The better their profile, the better chance they get of getting placed. Okay, which is everyone's goal, is to get placed through this process. So this is going to help if they do well. Okay, if you bore us tonight, we're not going to be doing that video for you. Okay, we're just going to be like, maybe you don't want that video. Okay. But if they kill it tonight, they have ammunition for their resume, they win some money, and they got a chance to move on to the Data Talent Showcase where they can win some more money. And then also, in addition to the money, they can get their Data Talent Showcase winner badge. Okay, so a lot at stake tonight. All right, this could be the reason somebody gets a job. Okay, so with that being said, let's go through our presenters and find out what we're going to be hearing tonight. Find out what our presentations are going to be about. So, Siwa.
Yes.
What are you going to be presenting for us this evening?
H&M sales in United States in year 2019.
Okay, so I got to admit, I didn't know a lot about H&M. But a few months ago, I saw some articles on the news. They was talking about coolest monkey in the jungle. Okay. I wasn't necessarily feeling that. Hey, I'm just being real with y'all. Look it up. Google coolest monkey in the jungle. Okay. It's going to pull up H&M. But, okay, I'm not going to hold that against Siwa and her presentation. Okay. So, but I'm just saying, I'm a little suspect. I did do my research. I realized that they are a big retailer, and it's great that they've released some data so we can detect some insights from that data. So awesome, big company. I actually asked Addie, I was like, have you heard of them? She was like, yeah, it's a very popular store. So I just felt completely uninformed. So don't mind me.
I shops there all the time.
Yeah, I mean, that's what she was saying. She was like, it's a great place. I was like, well, what's up with the coolest monkey in the jungle then? I don't know. But that don't have nothing to do with Siwa, and y'all don't judge her based on that, all right? Judge her based on the presentation. But that's our first presentation tonight. Second up, we got Revka. What are you presenting for us tonight, Revka?
Avocado price in US from 2015 up to 2020.
What price?
Avocado price in US.
Raise your hand if you like avocados. Daggum millennials. Y'all are eating up all the avocados. If millennials eat up about 75% of the avocados. Avocado toast, avocados with your eggs, all of that. Y'all doing too much. All right. So we're going to learn about avocado prices. Okay. I can see a lot of people being interested in that. Okay. All right. Eden.
Yep.
What are you presenting for us this evening?
It would be my Walmart store sales between 2010 and 12.
Walmart store sales. Okay, I know everybody's familiar with Walmart. Now listen, I don't go in the store anymore, but they got this thing, the online grocery. I definitely hit that thing up and have my groceries delivered to the front door. All right, best thing since sliced bread. So you're gonna be giving us some analysis on Walmart. Okay, that's
the in-store sales.
Store sales. Okay, awesome.
Yeah.
You gonna be talking about what products are selling more and stuff like that?
No, I'm going to be emphasizing more on how to retain customers to still come to the stores. Like
okay,
you, for
okay.
instance.
You helping Walmart become more strategic than they already are. Okay, yep. I got you. All right, that should be interesting. Muhammad.
Yes.
What are you going to be presenting for us this evening?
U.S. eco-friendly car sales from 2012 to 2019.
Man,
right
I
before
know.
the pandemic.
Okay, yeah, I know there's going to be some interest in that because I know I'm not the only one that goes and fills my car at the tank, and I'm like, God dang, what's up with these gas prices? I might have to get me a Tesla, y'all. I'm on the market for a Tesla because these gas prices are ridiculous. I feel like I could go buy a Tesla and save money depending on, the gas prices
and even
and
get
all of
some
that.
tax credit.
What was that?
And even get some tax credit from the government.
Oh, we got tax credits too? Okay, well, listen, you making our case. I think we all need to, listen, we need to all be eco-friendly, okay? Or save money, in other words. Okay, all right, sounds interesting. Good to know. What are the cars that are doing best in that area? So we can go get us one. All right, sounds good, Mohammed. Look forward to hearing about that. And Zara, what are you going to be talking about this evening?
I'll be talking about this dashboard and tools.
Now, I know pretty much everybody here knows a little bit about DISC because everyone here is going through the Colaberry training program. So you guys have a little understanding about DISC. Now Zara is going to give you a deeper level of understanding. So, and listen, understanding personality types and understanding how to adjust to be able to, like, be in a manager position, right? A manager position is where you got to understand different personality types. And that's what DISC is about. It's about emotional intelligence. It's about understanding people, right? Understanding behaviors, and then being able to communicate with those people. So as you guys can see, we have 5 excellent presentations tonight. Very interesting. But it's not about your project. It's about how you present your project. Can you tell a compelling story that keeps people engaged? Okay, today we are like all over the place. We got social media, we got apps. Everybody, look, put up your phone. Prove my case. Everybody put up your phone. Put up your phone right now. Put up your phone. Everybody has their phone on them right now. You hear that, presenters? Everybody has their phone on them right now, and there's an unlimited amount of information in that phone. There's stories, there's news, there's data, there's information that if your story is boring, we only 1 second away from tuning out. All right, we can tune out, hit our phone up. So if y'all don't keep us engaged, we on the phone, okay? And so doesn't matter what the topic is, it's about the story behind it. Can you relate to people? Can you engage? Okay. And when you guys get onto your jobs, there will come a point in time where you will have to present your work. Okay. And then your work, you spent weeks, months on. But it's so crazy because depending on the story you tell is whether people will have buy-in or they're like, let's scrap that. So it's not just about the work, it's about the presentation, okay? The better you can present, the more engagement you get, okay? And so sometimes, and I'll tell you, it's not the best project that wins. It's not the best looking project. It's the best story that keeps us engaged. And that's what our 5 contestants are gonna focus on tonight, is telling the story. Every single one of them has created a data set. They have taken it through this 34-step process. It has 7 approval levels, okay? It's intense. And these guys know their project from start to finish, okay, like the back of their hand. But it's not enough to just understand your project. You gotta convey that. You gotta present that, okay? And that's what tonight's competition is about. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get this thing started. All right, first up, we have Siwa talking about H&M sales. And we're gonna first put on some music so we can get our mind right. And then after about 45 seconds to a minute, and I stop sharing, Siwa, you can start sharing, and the floor is yours.
Spin around, hands in the air and sing out loud. Oh, oh, oh. Step forward and now step back. Le, ole, hola. If you don't know how to dance, oh, oh, oh. We'll teach you, give it a chance. Le, ole, hola. Together we'll have a good time. Dance. Feel that beat, move your feet and dance with me. Yeah. Enjoy the party, laughing, singing on repeat. Hey, we're not stopping. No, we don't want to. Go, DJ, we want more, more, more. Now freeze.
This is Siwa, and today I'm going to present about H&M sales in US in year 2019. So first, are you a consumer who follows fashion trend without breaking your bank? Then you must have H&M on your shopping list, because H&M sells high volume of trendy and inexpensive clothing. In the clothing, they range from clothing, sportswear, shoes, accessories, and cosmetics. H&M is a Swedish multinational clothing company, and it is leader in fast fashion clothing, which relies on high volume sales of trendy and inexpensive clothing. Fashion industry is one of the top shopping categories among consumers in the United States. However, in year 2020, due to coronavirus, everything was impacted. This impacted fashion industry as well, as a result of which the sales tumbled to negative 21%. But the things are getting better now, and it is estimated that by end of 2022, now the fashion industry sales price is about to rise by 8.3%. However, in today's presentation, I'm going to talk about how was the sales performance of one of the fashion industries before the pandemic started. So that's year 2019. First thing first, a key performance indicator plays the vital roles to explain performance of particular industry. Since the report is based on sales, these are my four main KPIs: sales per month, month over month percent, gross profit margin, and discount. I created a measure using DAX to calculate all these KPIs in my report. So for data, I gathered this data online, and the data was in Excel format. I inputted data in Power BI desktop, and then I cleared up the data, created new columns as required to come up with good data sets. And then the report is based on timeline. I created a calendar table and tried to build a relationship between calendar table and HMM sales table by connecting date of the calendar table to the order date of sales table. And this is my final dashboard. I have my main four KPIs here. I have three line and scatter column chart here. I have a scatter chart here, and then the sales by city. All of these charts represent all these KPIs, which tells the story about how was sales by quarter or by categories or subcategories. This GIF tells us what's going on around here. Here is the date slicer. And then if we click on any of the column in quarter, we can see the performance on that particular quarter. In the city map, we can see all this bubble represents the city, and then size of the bubbles, it depends on sales per month. Similarly, for the sales by region, in sales by subcategories, we can see the color variation is based on discount, and size of the bubbles depends on gross profit margin. Like if the gross profit margin was more, then the size is bigger. For sales by categories and subcategories, we can drill down to the, like for footwear, we can drill down and you can get what kind of footwear and its sales performance on basis of these all KPIs. There was some problem that I encountered during the project. The main was like on the month column, it was not in chronological order. So I had to create extra column and then sort the column by month number. The other main issue was even though the map was and the city was in the United States, some of the cities were showing the far away. So I had to create some extra columns and rearrange the country and city name. This way I was able to solve the problem and create the report. Of course, there were some insight in this project, both the negative and positive one. The negative insight was occurred in fourth quarter, and it was in central region where month over month percent was rumbled back to negative 47%. And we can see it was bad because in third quarter, the same month over month percent was 164%. So we can see in fourth quarter, it was here, and then in third quarter, the performance was way better than fourth quarter. The good was it occurred during the second quarter, and then it was in footwear where sales growth, where the month over month sales and the gross profit margin was increased to 222% and 37% respectively. And we can say it was better performance in second quarter because, so this was in the second quarter. And then when we compare it to the first quarter, we can see the footwear was just 57% increase in month over month, and CPM was just 25%. So to improve the sales performance of some business, or especially HMN, here are some suggestions, like offering a better discount, such as like when we see in our report, in fourth quarter, when month over month was just negative 47%, the discount was just 14%. And then in third quarter, when month over month was increased to 164%, the discount was 26%. So this proves that if we provide more discounts, offer promotions, this will attract existing customers more, as well as this will attract the new customer as well. Advertising is important for business because it drives business growth. Advertising in social medias or online platform like business website, blogs, as well as on newspaper articles can help people know about the particular business and might increase the sales. Customer service is important to the business because it retains customers and extract more values for the company. The fact suggests that an increase in customer retention of merely 5% can equate to an increase in profit of around 25%. Also, if we focus on what the customer wants, the people trust, these days people trust official platforms like Google, Facebook, Yelp, and so on. So if we go on this site and look at the reviews, like if both positive and negative, then we can improve we can know what the customer really wants and improve the business sales growth. That's all I have for today. Thank you.
All right, everybody take your cells off of mute and give her a woo woo. All right, I'm loving the energy. I'm loving the energy. All right, do we have any questions? Now is the time. If you have any questions.
I have one. Get one of those coupons.
What'd you say, Kofi?
Can I get one of those discount coupons?
I don't think she actually works for H&M.
It's online, social platform, remember?
Google search. All right, who else? I know somebody else was saying something.
I have a question.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yes, I'd like to ask her how big the data was, the data that she used. How big is the data?
My data was not that big. I just had like 5,000 of rows and like 10 columns.
And it was only like 1 year of data. That's
yeah, it's just for the sales performance is just for 2019.
Yeah, so she had to go with month over month. She couldn't do year over year.
Yes, I went
only had 1 year of data. Who else?
I have a question too, please.
Yeah, go ahead.
CEO, how are you? Very congratulations for your project. And my question is, H&M is very specialized stores, and I need to see if you did any research about income or race or about demographic research, because not everybody go to H&M. They're like a special people. They have like special income. So did you do any research like that to see who is afford to go there?
I did research, but the data that I have, they didn't have all those information, so I didn't put it on my report. Like my data said, they didn't have it was just for United States, and it didn't tell what categories of people were shopping. It just have few options that I can choose from.
All right, any more questions before we move on?
Mahalo?
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so when you do this research, do you go to the any office, H&M office in person, or you get the information from the online?
I went to H&M website too, and then I just searched in Google, and I found whichever sites looks like reliable. I went through that resource to find the data. And then the data side I extracted from Google.
All right, does that answer your question, Bahalu?
I said nice work.
Thank
nice
you.
work there. Thank you. Very beautiful presentation.
Thank you.
All right, awesome. Let's move on to our next one. We have Repka talking about avocados. I know you millennials are all ears on this presentation. Y'all was waiting for this. Y'all were talking about your avocado toast and all of that. So I know y'all been ready for this presentation, but we're gonna kick off some music first. All right, and then Repka, after about 45 seconds to a minute, when I stop sharing, it's all yours.
Good evening, everybody. Thank you for coming. My name is Rukka. Today, I'm going to present my project, but before I start my presentation, I have a question. Ali, he already asked you, but I wanted to repeat that question. How many of you buy avocado frequently? I wanted to see you, because if you buy avocado frequently, this project is going to, you are going to get a lot of information. Okay, I see. Okay, good. Who else? I'm one of you. I buy avocado a lot. Avocado, it has a lot of health benefits. So do you know the health benefits of avocado? Avocado, it has a lot of health benefits. It's good to eat avocado to be healthy. It's good to eat healthy food. This is some of the health benefits of avocado. In addition to that, if you wanted to have like this good natural hair and good face skin like mine without any makeup, it's good to eat avocado. That's the result of avocado. So today's presentation is how is avocado price in US from 2015 up to 2020. So what initiating me or motivating me to choose this data set is, as I say, I love avocado a lot. So sometimes when I go to store, I found like 50 cents or less than 50 cents for each avocado. Sometimes I found $3 for each avocado. So if I buy like 5 avocado with 50 cents, like $2.50. If I buy like 5 avocado with $3, like $15. So it's like high price difference. So I was wondering, why is this much difference? So this is the main reason initiating me to create this project, because I want to know in which time, in which season the price of avocado is high, in which time the price is down, and also in which places US, in case if you wanted to move to another state. This is also is another reason. It may not be the main reason to move to another state, but it's an addition, because that's initiating me to create this project. At the end of the project, you will get those all answers. I already get the answers from the dashboard. So please follow me until the end of my presentation. Yeah, this is my dashboard. So here, this is, let us start from this visual, the map visual. So as you see over here, price by state. So if you maybe want to know in which state is the price is not expensive, in which state is a more expensive avocado. So Texas, you see the color, this is the lighter, this is like, it's not expensive. The more is like those, the darker is like it's expensive states. So Texas is not expensive if you are living in Texas. So when you click in Texas, the average price is $1.08. So that's good. And those other states, those like this, this California, $1.53 for each avocado, and the other states. So I do not have all the states, like the 52 states, but I have most of the states. So over here from this visual, you can know in which state is the prices. So, and also when we go here, totally when we see this dashboard, the data is from 2015 up to 2020. When we see those KPIs, like the demand of avocado is increasing from time to time, because people is aware of how avocado is health benefits, you know. So people is buying from time to time. Its the volume is increasing. So when we see this generally from 2015 up to 2020, it is increasing by 25.6%. So the price is also is like, it's good. The volume and the price, average price, they have like indirect proportional. When the price is increased, the volume is decreased, because nobody likes to buy something expensive. And also when we see over here this visual, we have 2 types of avocados, conventional and organic. So obviously organic is the more expensive, but if you wanted to know in what percent or how much is the difference, like this is organic is The average price is $1.62. The conventional is like $1.14. That's 50-cent difference. So, and also, yeah, you can get all those informations, and also in which months avocado is increased, in which months is decreased. So when we see this thing, is different from year to year. It depends. Sometimes, let's say when we click on 2017, the price of avocado was increasing by 13.18%. It's a lot of reasons to happen that one. So from time to time, from year to year, the prices and the volumes is different. So it's because of different factors. So yeah, this is generally, this is the presentation. I wish I have more time and I can explain everything detailed, but because of the time, I'm done here. If you have any question, please feel free to ask me. If you don't have question, it is okay. Thank you for your time. Thank you. Yeah, I'm done.
All right, everybody, take yourselves off of mute and give her a woo woo.
Woo, Thank you.
Listen, don't be too good to whoop whoop, okay?
He almost convinced me to buy avocados. I don't eat them, but I might start.
Look, he might start eating them. Listen, you just gained a customer, Remka.
Good job. I told you it has a lot of benefits. So just to choose the day, the time is look my dashboard. So look in which time is avocados a good price and buy. Go ahead.
Look, Walmart, Target, somebody needs to hire her, okay? Because she knows about her avocados.
Yeah, I have a question.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, my question is, did you, in part of your study, do you have a section that indicates where the avocados are grown, and does transport make a difference in the price?
Sorry, repeat
I mean,
that
like,
question.
where do they grow? Are they imported from Mexico, or they grow in the US? Which state and what season?
It's different. Sometimes even
just to interrupt, that's what I was thinking as well. Because some of the lack of data in the middle United States might be because it's not growing in there, and most people do not consume that product. So I was just curious. Just the same question, but just to add on that.
Yeah, in my opinion, I think avocado is like importing from Mexico, most of the avocados. That's why in Texas, the price of avocado is like $1.08, comparing with the other states like New York. Over there, it's expensive. So most of the avocados importing from Mexico, but also is grown in US, in California. I'm sorry. Yeah, so I have to.
There is a little remark though to add there. You're saying that transportation from Mexico to all the way to New York, but it appears in your dashboard that it's more expensive in California than in other parts of the country. And California is known to be a producer as well. So why do you think it's expensive in California?
Yeah, first the life.
California.
Life in California is everything, not only avocado, everything is expensive in California, and also the amount it grows avocado in California is not more than comparing with Mexico. Mexico is everywhere is avocado, maybe, I don't know.
I mean, I get the jingle.
Plus demand is high there, right?
Mm-hmm.
In California, almost everybody devours it, right? There.
Yeah, California, everybody wants it, right?
Exactly, yeah.
And I got the ditty in my head. Avocados from Mexico. Look, y'all know, listen, don't be judging me, okay? I had the little ditty in my head because I heard a commercial, okay? All right, awesome, excellent questions, but we got to move on to our next person, which is Eden. Eden, listen, Walmart is probably one of the biggest biggest buyers of avocados. So we're gonna move over to our Walmart presentation, but not without some music to get us in the zone. So as soon as I finish playing the music, Eden, it's all yours.
I knew my rent was gonna be late about a week ago. I worked my ass off, but I still can't pay it though. But I got just enough to get off in this club and have me a good time before my time is up. Hey, let's get it now. Ooh, I want the time of my life. It's worldwide. Oh, baby. Ooh, give me the time of my life. Neo, let's get it. This is the last $20 I got, but I'ma have a good time ballin' in that. Tell the bartender, line up some shots, cause I'ma get loose tonight. She's on fire, she's so hot, I'm no liar, she burned up the spot. Look like Mariah, I take another shot. Hold her, drop it like it's hot.
Good evening all, and good afternoon to some of you. This is my Walmart store sales project that I have developed on Power BI. I'll try to keep it simple and short so that you guys will not boo me like Ali said. As we all know, there has been this huge economic crisis in the year 2008 that has fueled a major downturn for the economy throughout the US. And this specifically has caused most Americans to shop less. It has made them to go down on their spending. And when they actually did open their wallets, they traded down. They looked for markets or stores that have cheaper prices. And Walmart was among the many retail and department stores that was impacted by this crisis, as many shoppers sought to look for cheaper prices like in Dollar General and 99-cent stores. But regardless, by the end of the year 2012, Walmart had achieved a positive comparable store sale, having posted an increase in customer traffic for the fourth quarter nationwide. Yet still, there were some stores that did not emerge out of this decline in sales. In this project that I have developed, I have tried to assess 45 randomly selected Walmart stores throughout the US. And it is based on a data that was collected from their weekly sales that this dashboard was developed. And it was sales from February of 2010 and October of 2012. Overall, these stores have registered a decrease in a year-over-year sales average by 0.54%, as you can see here, which was a way lesser number than the average year-over-year consumer price increase of 0.99%. Hence, this would put profitability in question. In any organization, the total sales is the actual amount of revenue rendered for the company, and it makes it an essential indicator of a healthy business. So when I developed this dashboard, I have tried my KPIs to focus mainly on sales and year-over-year sales. I have also included other KPIs like consumer price index and consumer price index year-over-year, so I can compare them together. And these KPIs are reflected both based on dimensions like time, seasonality, unemployment rates, and locations of the stores. And to make my a better analysis of my data, I have included a date calendar to my data model so that I'll be able to show the change in sales growth or decrease dynamically. This is what my dashboard looks like. In my dashboard, I have tried to include a slider on top left so that my clients would be able to see, slice and dice their data. I have included about 4 charts. sales by month, which shows the average sales that was made for each month for the extended 3-month period. And I had added functionality in this chart to relap so that customer can see a consolidated average sales for each individual year. When we come to the sales by holiday, I have divided my attributes in 4 different holidays: Super Bowl week, Labor Day week, Thanksgiving week, and Christmas week. As you can see, the Super Bowl week was where the highest sale was registered. For the sales by store, as we go, each bubbles for the scattered chart shows each store. And as we go far to the right, it's the higher sales per month that was registered. And as we go far up, it represents a higher or a better sales year over year that was reflected. I have made each bubble to reflect consumer price index. The darker the color, the higher the consumer price index. For the sales versus unemployment rate, I have classified them of unemployment rate, which was less than 5, to be a low, average between 5 and 8, and a high unemployment rate where unemployment rate was registered for equal and above 8. This was an era where not much low unemployment rate was registered, so that we don't see much of sales registered for the stores in areas where low unemployment rate was recorded. But when we compare low and average unemployment rates, we can see here that the lower the unemployment rates, the higher people will buy our products. From this dashboard, I have a couple of takeaways, positive and a negative insight. Stores, a couple of stores, 35 and 36 have shown the least performance compared to the others between 2011 and 2012, where their combined year-over-year sales has decreased by 13%. And when these same stores have also recorded a decrease in sales by 10.73 the previous years. So these are the 2 stores that have shown the most negative insight out of my dashboard. But on the contrary, other 36 stores have shown an increase in a year-over-year sales by 4.89% during the similar year and a month of October, which is close to the national sales increase of 5.9% recorded for Walmart. And this is a report according to the Fortune. So with this insights, I have included a couple of suggestions that Walmart can take to bring up sales. It is said that a 2% increase in customer retention is the same as cutting costs by 10% to profit. So stores 35 and 36 are the least performing out of the total 45 stores, according to my data. So I would suggest that these stores should gear up with new management so that they can assure better and consistent control of business, so that they can regulate successful working practices, so that we can retain more in-store buyers. Another way that I think Walmart could bring up sales would be to ensure that all Walmart stores would show up in an online search results. When a business has a digital presence, it makes it much easier for customers to easily find it. So although these stores 35 and 36 are not located in areas where high unemployment rate is recorded, they have the highest decline in a year-over-year sales. So putting them on the map would assure customers to do visits more often, so that it could bring up sales. With this, I wind up my presentation. If you have any questions, shoot. I'll stop my sharing now.
All right, everybody take yourselves off of mute and give her a woo, woo!
Woo! Woo! Woo!
All right, questions.
Thank you. If you have questions.
Good presentation,
Thank you.
Eden. Two questions. One, where did you get your data from? And the second is, as far as the the two low performing stores, did you also do some study as per their location, meaning where they are located? Maybe could Walmart build that store in a different geographical area, maybe move it in the same city, but to have you taken that variable?
Yeah, I've considered that. I got this data from Kegel's website. To answer your second question, as I said in the beginning of my presentation, these are randomly selected stores. They are just named store number 1, 2, and 3. They do not have locations. They're just random. So there's no way of knowing which specific stores. But like, if the researchers can go back and allocate which stores are there, my data findings would help, I guess.
Look, Walmart releasing this data, but they don't want to tell you exactly where the store is. So having that link to the location, probably not going to happen, okay? Because that's Walmart's wishes, right? Yeah, if we could have it, then definitely we'll take it. But Walmart, they don't want to let you know which stores are struggling in different places.
I have a question.
Yeah, go ahead, Elijah.
Okay, so I was just thinking, if one of your KPIs is like sales of the store, and you really want people to come in store, did you anyway considering like adjusting price? Did you do maybe a report on like what if your price is at a certain percentage? Does adjusting price, maybe lower, bring more customers, and you're still meeting up your KPIs for maybe on weekly basis or monthly basis? Thank you.
Yes. My other KPIs were a consumer price index, which I know is national based. All other stores have been doing good in the same time, same era, same close enough situations. So it was just not a price that was affecting those stores because others are doing it. There was just some other situations or areas that they need to work on, because like I said, these two stores, 35 and 36, are in areas where unemployment rate was not recorded, so that people there are able to actually spend. They're just not choosing to spend in these stores. So I do not think that price was the issue there, but yeah, it could be. You could be right.
Hey, I think these are excellent questions, because as a data scientist, you would probably take Eden's data set and you would go try to find more information, right? And connect it to the data set that she's using, right? And so I think these are excellent questions, but she just hasn't stretched it that far, right? And so we're working on element 1, which is grabbing the data set, extracting the insight. But as a data scientist, yes, you would grab this one data set, and then you go find other data sets that answer different questions, right? And then you bring all of those together and you tell the whole story. And that's what being a data scientist is about. So
yeah, these are just my suggestions from my point of view. So
yeah, awesome. So yeah, I mean, that's great. That's great to understand that, right? Because we in phase 1 to phase 2, right? Phase 1 is no experience to data analyst, BI developer. Phase 2 is data analyst, BI developer to data scientist, right? So, and a good thing to note is we also have the data scientist classes, they present as well, okay? We just don't have any for today, okay? So we will definitely probably hit that more complexity element, Israel, that you're talking about, and when you see the data science presentation. All right.
Thank you, everyone.
Great presentation, Eden. I think everybody was engaged. I know I was. I'm like, which store? And I'm like, Israel, I'm like, where's that store located? Because if they sell not as good, I don't want to go to that store, right? But as she mentioned, there are random stores that Walmart selected. They released this data set because they want to get different ideas and opinions of what they can extract from this data, right? So I think Eden did a good job of showing us what type of information we could get. All right, we're moving on. Muhammad is up next. He's going to be talking about eco-friendly car sales, but not without some music. So let's get our mind right for a second. And then once I stop sharing, Muhammad, it is all yours.
Call it love and devotion. Call it a mom's adoration. Foundation, a special bond of creation. Ha! For all the single moms out there going through frustration, Clean Bandit, China Ball, and Marie thing make them air.
She works the nights by the water. She's gone astray, so far away from her father's daughter. She just wants a life for a baby. All on her own, no one will come. She's got to save him.
Daily struggle.
She tells him, ooh, love, no one's ever gonna hurt you, love. I'm gonna give you all of my love. Nobody matters like you.
Stay up there.
She tells him your life ain't gonna be nothing like my life. You're gonna grow and have a good life. I'm gonna do what I got to do.
Stay up
so rock-a-bye, baby, rock-a-bye. I'm gonna rock you, rock-a-bye, baby, don't you cry. Somebody's got you, rock-a-bye, baby, rock-a-bye.
Hello, everybody. Welcome. I'm here today to present my project, US Eco-Friendly Car Sales, between 2012 and 2019, right before the COVID-19 pandemic. I want to put you in a context. It's imaginary, but as you can see, I have a client. It's a Muakkil and Associates Investment Group. They are specialized in full service gas stations, convenience stores, auto dealerships and maintenance and stuff like that. So they are interested in getting insights of repositioning basically their investments, maybe insights for future new trend, and finding new investment opportunities. So you guys are my executive team basically. Here, basically put in a context to the reason for this analysis. There is quite a few cars that contribute to the pollution. There is 108 million of them personal cars in the streets. They account for 58% of all the transportation sector emissions, according to APA. And as some of you know, we hurt when we go to the gas station. So basically, caring for the environment is no longer just a choice. It's something we really should think about. Global warming. This year, for example, we didn't get as much snow as we used to get every year here in Colorado. Some other places are complaining about the heat. Some places are complaining about not getting enough rain, and cutting the emissions is really important. While at the same time, the automobile industry costs us a lot of money. Basically, the gas is expensive, the maintenance is expensive, and the cars are expensive. So this is the most current view of the dashboard, and we'll go over it in just a second. So this is the problem statement. So in 2020, the most recent statistics I could find actually increased the emissions of the cars to 41% globally, as the statistics I've shown earlier were about the US only. So the eco-friendly car market has changed a lot. Now we have multiple types of eco-friendly vehicles. We have hybrid, we have plug-in hybrid, and battery electric vehicle. We have new brands as well, like coming in like Nikola. We have Lucid, we have Rivian, and the European luxury brands are going crazy about getting into the market. The demand will only keep growing, and it will reach $802 billion by 2028. So you have the consumer basically choosing between the conventional car on the left side versus the new eco-friendly car, which you can charge in your own garage. I used 4 KPIs, the total quantity sold, which I haven't shown here, but I have quantity sold per month. I have quantity month over month and quantity year over year. The data set came in form of a CSV file, and I had to do some research to find the type of vehicle per model, basically, so I can get my data to make sense. I also had to create a new calendar table so I can use the time intelligence properly. Excuse me. So I had a few problems or issues while developing the dashboard. So like I said, I did some research to find those model types, because there is some models that have both options as a plug-in hybrid or just a regular hybrid vehicle. So I did some research on that, and I did learn how to use DAX variables to create year over year and month over month to avoid using multiple calculations in that. So as you can see, I had another issue with the table in its original format in the CSV file. I had basically to flip it and transpose the data so it makes more sense and give me a new dimension to work with. So what I realized after I completed the dashboard is every year from 2013 to 2019, there is a dip in the quantity sold for the month of May. While at the same time, from 2012 to 2019, there is a growth of 45% each year from 2012 to 2013. It actually went up from 250,000 cars at the beginning of my data set in 2012 to almost 15 million units in 2019. So my suggestions, basically before that, I have noticed that Tesla as a luxury brand sells 25% of all the cars that are sold in the market, and 45% of the quantity sold in 2019, which basically shows that there is a monopoly in the market and there is a lack of competition. My recommendations or opportunities for growth are improving affordability, knowing that there is only luxury cars in the market, the majority. Improving the battery capacity. A lot of people are backing off from the electric vehicle because the battery does not meet the same mileage as the full tank of a conventional car, the lack of infrastructure, and improving competition. So this is my dashboard. So if we look at it right here, I have a slicer that shows years basically, so I can break down my sales per month based on a certain period. Here I have over 5 years, and the numbers, as you can see, quantity month over month is a 92.9%, and quantity year over year is a 42.75%. This chart is for month over month, and you can drill up to year over year, and you can see the growth is constant from 2014 through 2019. I have this chart here by vehicle type, and this one showing luxury versus economy. Luxury basically controls 35% of the market. Tesla being the major seller of the eco-friendly cars, sold 11.6 million cars throughout the period we have selected. This is all I got. Thank you very much. If you have any questions, let me know.
All right, everybody take yourselves off of mute and give them a woo, woo, woo. All right, questions?
Bahailu.
Go ahead.
Okay, a nice presentation, Mohammed. And you know, I learned in regard to the demand and affordability. Recently, it looks like, you know, buying this expensive car, sometimes it's look like, you know, showing your status. So do you think in the near future, you know, ordinary people just like me can afford to buy this type of car?
Absolutely. Hyundai just started this over this pandemic period, selling their electric models, and they're doing really good actually. I looked into it. Ioniq 5 and Ioniq are doing really great. People love them, and also if you looked at my dashboard, one of the biggest competitors to Tesla, even if it's not in the same segment, is Nissan Leaf. Nissan Leaf is one of the best electric cars. It's been around for a while now, even before Tesla, and they are rocking it. The only issue there is it's a really small vehicle, and again, the battery range is not the best. The price is affordable as far as I know.
Inshallah.
I don't want to be lined up behind Ali at the gas station.
Okay.
Awesome. But listen, when you create a project in the CAP program, it's about getting that knowledge, okay? It's about understanding the subject. You don't just present data and just, you know, fact after fact after fact. It's more about understanding the data, right? And Muhammad is speaking on terms of like, he knows the subject, right? And when you get onto your jobs, you gotta understand the business, okay? There's one thing is the data, but another thing is the business. And when you can bring them both together and explain how things work, then man, it's awesome. Any more questions before we move on to our last presentation?
Yeah, that's me.
Yeah, go ahead.
Hello, Muhammad. It's a great presentation and very nice. I have the privilege to do this Muhammad project when I started by Ali, and I will attest that this project is very great project, very nice, and there is a lot of functionality in this project. There is a function called non-buffet, and this first time I know it in this project. That was a great project, and thank you very much, Muhammad.
You're welcome.
Yeah, sorry, I keep on asking. I don't know. I get excited.
No worries.
I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
Okay, Muhammad. I mean, you did an excellent presentation, and I'm sure you could have said more. I believe. Question is, Do you think one of the variables, one of the factors that influence the production of such vehicles was due to the shortage of rare earth chemicals that's used in the battery, like lithium and what have you? I mean, there was a shortage, okay? So
there
different
was
industry.
a shortage, and there is still a shortage, and there is, like I said, the battery capacity issue is creating a big problem, and there is a lot of companies are competing at the battery level. We already have cars and the build and the style and all that stuff, but that's what keeps BMW and Audi and Mercedes off the top 5 sellers of the eco-friendly cars. They are not the best. They are trying hard. I mean, recently over the past year, they have so many models. The most recent one from BMW is stunning. But again, is the battery as good as the Tesla or other competitors? I'm not sure. So production, again, what's slowing production is mainly the battery capacity.
Yeah, correct. And by the way, just when we're still talking that, they're developing a sodium-based batteries. It's in the works. It's on research. So there you go.
So maybe
we will do that study later on, Ali.
Maybe that's gonna push the
absolutely
the production in the future and bring the price down a little bit.
Absolutely.
So that this guy can have his luxury electric car.
All right, awesome. Look at those good questions. And look at the ability to handle those questions, right? They really know their stuff. They really did do this project. Okay, when you go through Colaberry, you really do your project. Now, you get guidance from an architect, but it's all you. Okay, nobody's writing your code. Nobody's building this stuff. They understand it, and throughout the process, they understand the data. All right, with that being said, let's go ahead and move to our last contestant, Zara, who's going to talk to us about DISC. So let's get our vibe right. And then once we start sharing, Zara, it's all yours.
Put your pinky rings up to the moon. Girls, what y'all trying to do? 24 karat magic in the air. Head to toe so clear. Look out. Pop, it's showtime. Showtime. Guess who's back again? Oh, they don't know. Oh, they don't know. I bet they know as soon as we walk in. Showed up, I'm wearing Cuban links, designer mix, Inglewood's finest shoes. Don't look too hard, might hurt yourself. Known to give the color red the blues. Woo, shit. I'm a dangerous man with some money in my pocket. Keep up.
Okay, good evening, everyone. My name is Zahra Toure, and my topic is DISC dashboard and tools. So my first question to you guys is anyone here familiar with the Indigo DISC survey, or did you have to take the survey? Okay, so I'm guessing that most of us have already taken the survey, or at least plan to take it right after this presentation. So if you have no idea of what DISC is about or what my project is about, you're in the right place, because I believe that after this presentation, you'll have a better understanding of what this project is about. So first of all, what is DISC? So the Indigo DISC assessment measures behaviors according to the DISC system, which pretty much divides behavior types into 4 basic groups. You have the dominance, the influencing, the steadiness, and you have the compliant. So DISC first came to prominence in the military. It was widely used in the recruitment process during in the army leading to the years of the Second World War. So in 1940, Walter Clark took the theory of William Moulton Marston and developed the first DISC personality. So that's the gentleman you see in front of you right now. So about my project. So do you remember when you were in the boot camp and you had to create groups? So my experience was, it was very chaotic and it was risky because I had to team up with people that I did not know. The only thing I knew about them was pretty much their names and the time zones. So imagine now having all that automated. So I pretty much created an algorithm that takes individuals and it compares their DISC scores and groups them based on how well they're going to work together. So the platinum rule, there's a platinum rule, the saying goes, treat others the way they want to be treated, not the way you want to be treated. So DISC profiles pretty much describes human behavior in various situations. For example, the way you respond to challenges, how you influence other people, and how you respond to rules and procedures. It measures the tendencies and preferences of the patterns of your behavior with no judgment regarding the value or alignment of your job classification. And then, so pretty much, I'll talk about the different types of personalities. So there's a high D. So the high Ds, they're very dominant. So they have high confidence and they're self-motivated. They're also comfortable with taking risk. So they like to focus on the big picture rather than the details. So people who have high Ds are usually frequently found in leadership roles. Then you have your high Is. So your high Is, they are the influencers. So they are very extroverted and outgoing, also people-oriented. So they tend to be very inspiring, impressionable, interactive, and involved. They're typically vocal and animated, and they like to engage others in conversations. So if you have a high I in your team, try to ask them how their day is going. Try to know about them. That helps work better with a high I. In the case of a high D, just go straight to the point. Don't try to start conversations. And then there's the high S. So the high S, they're easily overlooked because they're often the quiet ones. They don't speak up or attract attention. So they're not compelled to make decisions. Instead, they rather go with everyone's decisions just because they want to minimize conflict. So they're people oriented and prefer being in relaxed environment. So if you have a high S in your team, try to, have one-on-one conversations with them because this helps communicate with a high S. And then you have your high Cs. So your high Cs, they're reserved and they're task oriented. They make decisions slowly, only after careful considerations and implications. So while the high Cs are reserved, they tend to act with purpose and focus when they're making decisions. So in a way, the high Cs can sometimes be confused with a high D. So I would like to move on to my dashboard. So here's my dashboard. Like if you look at the top left, you would see the top right, you would see the different personality types. This is based on the bootcamp only. So we can see that the S, there's more people that are S people because they tend to gravitate more towards the program, while the D gravitate least towards the program. That's because they like high drama environment, and the IT field is not usually for a high D. So when you move on to the left side of the screen, my KPIs are student count. So this pretty much counts the students. And then the class completion percentage is a percentage of the completion rate based on the 27 sections that are in the boot camp. Then there's the sections completed, which is pretty much the count of the sections. So there you have the satisfaction percentage. So this is pretty much the surveys we all had to take when we completed each section in the boot camp. And then you have your efficiency rating, which pretty much tracks how well you're working and how much your assignments you're submitting. So we pretty much saw this when we were in the boot camp, like you would see it in your CRM, your efficiency rating. I know I track mine all the time. So we also have the homework score, which is just a percentage of the homework score. So over here, you can see group success rate and DISC averages. So here I have 5 classes. Some of them are data analyst classes and some of them are data science classes. So it is sorted by class completion rate, meaning that the data, the December 4th batch has a higher completion rate. So this order chart is the KPI changes for DISC. It is a tree map that populates based on my selection. And then there's a class completion and satisfaction rate. So this scatter plot has the class completion. So the further you move to the right, that's your class completion. And the upper you go is your satisfaction level. So these are the classes that are in the scatter plot. So for the sake of this presentation, I would like to base my analysis on the December 4th class since it has the highest completion rate. So when I click on the December 4th class, you will see that there's a few changes in the KPIs. So the numbers in red pretty much shows everything that decreased, and the numbers in green are everything that increased. So when you look at this chart right here, you can see that class completion, section completed, and homework score have all increased for this particular class. But then their satisfaction and their efficiency rating went down. And if I pretty much go to my detail page, here we can see that this class had 8 groups. So I had a maximum of 4 people for each group. So it's also sorted in the same way. So if I click on group 1, we can see the people that were in group 1 or are in group 1. So we can see that 2 of the people in group 1 have actually completed the class. They have 100% completion rate, and the other 2 are working towards completing the class. So here is just their homework scores, and the lines represent their discourse. And over here is their efficiency rating. So when I drill up and go to group 8 of the same class, it's a different case. So over here, we can see that none of the people in this group have completed the program yet. And well, their efficiency rating and their homework scores are above average, so it's pretty good. But then when you look over here, the efficiency rating, this individual right here, like their efficiency rating is pretty much non-existent. So which means, and their completion rate is only 3.7%, which means that most likely they quit the program. So if I, so the top KPIs, they're all clickable. So if I was to filter on the compliant people, you could see that they do really well in the bootcamp. So this is their forte. You can see that all the numbers are up. And so when I go to the steadiness group, you could see that more people that are steady, that are steadiness behavioral type gravitate more towards the program. So we have a lot of them in the program, but then, you know, they may struggle in the first part of the program. And then when it comes to the high I's, those are your influencers. They pretty much struggle in the first part of the program. This may be because, you know, they're trying to get used to the Colaberry way of life. They're very social, and they, you know, they still want to maintain the social relationships, like with their family and their friends on social media. So they struggle with this part of the program. But then once they move on to IPBC and CAP, that's when they start to, you know, that's when they start to do well, because there they have to create videos, they have to create, you know, go on interviews, and their influencer skills make them help them in that sense. So with the dominance type, so they do take pride in their work. So that's why they do well in their homework and efficiency rating. And also they, what they always like to complete things that they started. So this is pretty much it for my dashboard. And if you have any questions, feel free to ask.
All right, everybody take yourselves off of mute and give her a woo, 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 woo. All right, question.
I have a question.
Yeah, go ahead, Elijah.
Yeah, nice presentation, Zara. So my question is, how do you talked about grouping people, you know, according to their level. So is there a particular suggestion? Do you say, okay, people with dominance, the same group, or is there a kind of mixture, or do you leverage people's strength and weakness to put them to same group?
Okay, thank you, Elijah, for that question. So I pretty much use the heat map that compares each two. Like if you have two dominant types, it will compare the two and then it will have a score. So I use that heat map to create a stored procedure. So the stored procedure pretty much takes two individuals' user IDs, and then it compares their disk result. So when you take your survey and I take my survey, like we'll pretty much be called into this system, and then it will run your score and my score and then compare it. So based on the number that is returned, that's how well we can match. So if the number is like above 100, that means that, okay, we have a good work relationship. So in the case of a boot camp, you want to be in the same team with people that have, good work relationships. But then if the number is below 100, then that means that, okay, we're very social. If we're in the same group, all we'll do is just talk and less work. So that's pretty much the whole process of putting people in groups.
Listen, I couldn't explain it better myself. Anybody have any more questions?
What do you classify yourself as?
So my behavior type has changed. When I first joined the program, I was pretty much high S and high C. But then the last time I took the test, I was a high D, high S, and high C, but my highest is a D.
Nice. That's a great trait to have. Good work. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, any more questions?
I have a question.
Go ahead.
Is the disc measure, do you use for group formation or for another purpose too?
Yeah, so in this project, it is only based on the boot camp, like trying to put people in groups. But this can be used in many situations, like the same project is being used to put people in mentorship groups, because like with the mentorship side, you have people, like you don't want you and your mentor to have a good work relationship. You want to be more social because they're there to motivate you. So it's not only used in one situation. You can use it in workplaces, and especially if you're trying to be a manager, because you want to know how well you do deal with other people. You want to know what their behavioral type is. And then once you know what your behavioral type is, you know your weaknesses. So you know what to work on, and you know what to work on, and then what to do less of, so that you won't take your team in it or piss people off. So that's pretty much it. You can use it in any situation. You can even use it to deal with your family members.
All right, listen, I told y'all at the beginning of the night it was gonna be a good one. And y'all got 5 excellent presentations. So now it's time to vote, all right? You can only choose one person, okay? None of this flaking stuff. Oh, I like them, but I also like them. No, you only get one vote. One vote, your top person, that's it, okay? So Mika, you got that poll ready?
Better believe it, baby.
Alrighty, so let's get us some music and pop up the poll right now.
Here we go. You can vote.
Let me remind you guys, we got a lot on the line tonight, okay? We got the $50 gift card for first place. Second and third get a $25 gift card. But not only that, they get a chance. Top 3 moves on to the Data Talent Showcase, where they have a chance to win $100, plus get them a badge, okay? And Data Talent Showcase winner that they can then take the presentation and put on their resume. Okay, so it's a lot at stake. I'm a little nervous. Mika, are you nervous?
Oh, a little bit.
Can you
but I
see the results right now?
I see the results though.
See, listen, we all just on edge. We try to see who won, and you already had the results. Hey, which reminds me, off topic, there's this new show on Netflix. It's called Bullshit. Okay, it's just like Who Wants to Be a Millionaire?
Oh, the game.
Yeah, it's just like Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, but the person who's answering the question, they select their answer, and then they know right then if it's right or wrong. And if it's wrong, they have to try to bullshit their way. And if they can get someone to say that they think that they're telling the truth, then they win. So you don't have to get the right answer. You just have to bullshit your way through, right? So anyway, That's my workout. That's my workout series. I like to, when I work out at like 12 o'clock every day. Like it's like in the middle of the day. And I go in my gym and I'm looking at I'm trying to watch something on TV while I'm working out, you know. So that's my show right now. So forgive me, but y'all should check it out, definitely. All right, enough about that. We got our winners. All right, Mika, you ready to give us the results?
Y'all ready?
Are y'all ready? Who's ready? Put your hand up.
I don't think they. I'm not presenting because I don't think y'all ready.
Who put your hands up if you're ready? She don't think you're ready.
All right, here we go. And
right,
the winner is dun, 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 dun,
Zara. All right, with the #1 spot, followed by Eden with our Walmart. And then we have Muhammad with the eco-friendly. Zara, $50. Muhammad, $25. Eden, $25. But more than anything, they are going on to the Data Talent Showcase at the end of the month, where they had a chance to win $100, create a great presentation for their resume, and they can get their Data Talent Showcase badge. All right, guys. Real quick, Siwa, what was like, everybody wants to know, like from building the project to putting together the presentation, mainly putting together the presentation. What was this experience like for you?
It was a good learning experience. I get to learn a lot, like selecting the good database, finding the best DAX formula for all these measures, and then how to create your dashboard, like colors and everything. Going back and forth with you with the critic, we get to learn more on that thing. Presentation wise, there is a lot. I think that this presentation helps us to how to prepare ourselves for interview, or even how to present our work in our future job. So pretty much it was a very good learning experience.
All right, awesome. Rebecca. You there, Rebecca? Mika, give me host.
Rebecca is not here.
All right, Eden.
Yes, Sandy?
What was this experience like for you?
A little bit overwhelming. I really was not happy when I got picked because there was a lot going on with the launching and everything. But as I got more into it, I have really tested myself. I have enjoyed it. And I can now see that where I'm at, like, I feel more confident.
You feel like you're gonna get that job, don't you?
I'm keeping my fingers crossed.
Like, I see it in your face though. Okay, I see it in your face. Like, this presentation is giving you more confidence, right?
Yes, indeed, indeed.
Awesome. All right, congratulations on moving to the Data Talent Showcase.
Thank you.
Muhammad.
Yes.
What has this experience been like for you?
Just like Eden said, it was a little surprising. I have a busy week with work. Worked almost 16 hours yesterday. Worked again 8 hours today. Come home and have 2 Zoom meetings and be prepping for this. So it's good. It's good. I wasn't organized as much as I wanted. I lost track of the time, but it's a good learning opportunity.
Awesome. Nobody wants to do it. Nobody wants to volunteer, but what has your growth been like though?
As long as I don't have to fight with you anymore.
Good stuff, good stuff, good stuff, good stuff. All right, so Zara, our winner for tonight. What has this experience been like for you?
Well, when you picked me yesterday, I didn't want to do it. but I guess
Nobody
we've all
wants to
been,
do it.
yeah, we've all been voluntold. So, so when I woke up this morning, I pretty much prepared my PowerPoint and then practice, and then I used the opportunity to also create a project video while I practiced, and then I called Tizita to also practice in front of her.
Awesome. So how many hours did you put into preparing your presentation?
I would say 2 hours, maybe more.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, it gives everybody.
After I created the slides.
Yeah. It
Yeah.
gives everybody an understanding, right? An idea of what it's like to build your presentation, because, you know, you're going to get opportunities. Okay. They're not going to come in the form of this grand presentation. Hey, we need you to put together this grand presentation. They're going to be like, hey, Mohammed, you know, we got the CEO wanting to know what's going on. Can you put together something to kind of present them the work that we've been doing? Okay. And then some people are going to be like, yeah, you know, and they're going to put together something. But Colaberry Network is going to say, this is my opportunity. This is my opportunity to shine. Okay. And they're going to put that time into it. They're going to put those hours into it. And they're going to come up with a presentation. They're going to come up with a storyline. Okay. They're going to come up with a way to present what you've been doing, because at the end of the day, you're going to be judged on the presentation. How well do you present it? You could do great work, present it bad, and then nobody's interested. The people that are making the decisions, they're like, I'm uninterested. Why do we need this? Right? And they can scrap the project. So being able to present the work you're doing and showcasing in the best manner, okay, is going to be advantageous for you. All right. This has been another CAP competition. I hope you guys enjoyed it as much as I enjoyed it. We went over tonight. I apologize for that, but we had some great presentations. We got a grand winner, and we got 3 people that's going to be moving on to the Daily Talent Showcase. Top prize, $100. Also, develop content for your resume. Also, you're going to get your Data Talent Showcase badge. All right, that's it. You guys go home tonight. We're going to end it out on some music. And you guys have a good one. Same time. Listen. Yeah, what was that?
No, I was just saying good night. Thank you. Sorry.
First Wednesday of every month is the CAP competition. I hope that when you guys see this on your event list, you join it every single time, okay? You learn from these presentations how to present. You listen to each person. You see, what do I like about their presentation? What do I not like about their presentation? You write that down, okay? So when your time comes, you use that data to elevate your presentations. And whether it be 1 month down the line, 2 months down the line, 3 months down the line, you guys, everyone on this call can very well be in this same situation. Okay, so take this time, take this experience, learn from it, grow from it, and then take notes. And then that way, the next CAP competition might be you. All right, guys, that's it. Have a good evening. First Wednesday of the month. Let me see you next month.
You used to call me on my. You used to.
Call me on the hotline, okay?
Yeah.
Call me on the hotline.